Hello and welcome, we're gonna get into another video, and in today's video we have some great battles from VBasist, and VBasist went 16-4 with this team, I think, as far as I remember. And usually whenever you go 16-4 with a team, that means either the team is good or you are just too good, or both. So in today's video we will be able to judge whether the team is good, VBasist is too good, or it's just a combination of both, or it's just the algorithm. Okay, so the team is basically, as you guys can see on the screen, Azu in the lead with Turtonator and Kommo-o. What's the unique thing about this team? I don't know. We're about to see. I literally have no idea. I know that Turtonator has becoming the most popular Pokemon in this cup, and Azu has become an answer to this Pokemon. We see that the VBasist 60 is stuck in the queue time. So what's we gonna do? We're just gonna step forward a bit until we find a battle, and he's playing 3011. Yeah, and here first battle we see a G-Fisk. G-Fisk is not as good as it used to be. I said in the past that, like a couple videos ago, that G-Fisk is bad, and someone was like, why the hate on G-Fisk? Basically, it's not hate. I love G-Fisk. I use G-Fisk, I think, a lot. The problem with nerfing EQ is that 2 EQs plus Rock Slide no longer KO Azu. So this is one of the biggest downside to EQ nerf. Now G-Fisk needs a 3 EQs. Usually, whenever they double EQ, they can. Look at that. Amazing undercharge by VBasist. Well played. Opponent swapped into an Azu, and now we can see. Look what he's running. He's running Poison Jab Kommo-o. What's the good thing about Poison Jab Kommo-o? Well, it beats the fairies, and now we have a tough matchup here, as the Dragon Claw is not going to add up that much. Opponent actually did a smart play by swapping into Slurpuff, because Fairy Wind is double super effective. And that close combat, look at that, Kommo-o beating fairies. Opponent swapped out an Azu from a Dragon lead. That's how good this Pokemon is. Opponent throwing an energy ball, it doesn't matter. It is nothing you could do. And now we have a Turtonator into an Azu. I believe you're just gonna throw 4 because he missed the throwing on 2, and he can't throw a 3 because that's alignment. And since we land this, we can just go on Azu, no shield this, and then go back to Turtonator and throw the overheat. I believe that we need to do couple incinerates, so the incinerate will help putting this in the overheat range. I think they either die with it, or we just gonna KO within the next incinerate. And as we can see, the next incinerate KO'd the Azu there. So well played. That was a battle where, like, he literally won. He beat 2 fairies with 2 dragons. Insane. Okay. This is number 2. So the battles aren't in the same order. I apologize for that, because I received the battles usually, like, some people send the battles like within one video, like it's a 1 record all the way. Some people record 1 by 1, and like usually the higher you climb, the more queue time you will have. So it's tough to have all the battles in one video. We see a Bastiodon opponent refusing to learn how to play the game, and they decided to play Basti. I usually don't recommend using Basti because you're just refusing to learn how to play the game properly. I know some people recommend it, but to be honest, there is way easier stuff to do. Like, as an example, opponent is using Slurpuff, which is good. It's a good Pokemon, it's a good pivot, and eventually Slurpuff is the ideal safe swap. And I like what VBasist did here. So what he did, he basically got like a couple bubble lead, and now he was able to farm down all the way. Then now we double flamethrower that, and look at that, Whimsicott into Kommo-o. Who would have thought that this matchup will be good for the Kommo-o? I would never expect that. Look at the poison jab damage. Opponent proceed to stop lefting. They had no play against the Kommo-o. Just as simple as that. Why? Well, you have close combat for the steel, and you have poison jab for the fairies. That was a good game. Now we are at 28-13. So this is respectively, like, considered a high MMR. This is basically the bottom of the leaderboard, and this lead is not a bad lead. It's actually a fine lead. The problem with this lead is that usually whenever they lead something like that, that means our Turtonator is not gonna have a good time. But in this cup, there is not that many answers for Turtonator, right? It's literally just Azu. An opponent safe swapping Azu, and I think this is actually what VBasist want. So him doing that basically means one thing. He can just swap and jab all the way down. He has to throw at one point a close combat, so I'm assuming he's gonna do it on 7. I would have close combated there, but it's not the end of the world. And yeah, you can just shield farm all the way down because he can still live an Ice Punch. So whatever the opponent will do, look at him. Okay, he live an Ice Punch, easy. So we're just gonna close combat here, and man, Turtonator is about to sweep their entire team. Look at that. What we're gonna do is just double close combat, then dip back to the Azu. Opponent swapping back. Opponent doesn't know what they will face. Opponent's trying to get rid of the Azu, but hey, you're about to get incinerated down. That A-slash is about to be set on fire, okay? Yeah. KO them as fast as possible. We're gonna count to 5, and then we will see the incinerate Turtonator KO them. I think this is an Ice Punch. That was a drill then. No, never mind. I miscounted. So the play now, we're just gonna farm them down. This is a Sky Tag. Oh, this is actually... Okay, how can we win this? Oh, you still have a shield, right? Yeah, I think we lose this one. I think we lose this one. What was the mistake? Yeah, I think when he baited the Azu and he was forced to shield. Well, technically the opponent was expected to shield as well, so you can like you cannot call that. But yeah, I think him baiting the Azu was technically like a close, a tough decision. For sure. Flygon into Azu. This is not a bad matchup for the Flygon, but this is where you want your Azu to be. I like the way he played it last time, where he played off, then went to Kommo-o, but I think he's not gonna do it because it didn't do him that much of a play. So now we will see that he is actually doing the opposite here, close combating, then jabbing all the way down. Because if with shielding regardless, yeah, we can just close combat and then poison jab all the way down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They die with the move, and that was a great play. So now they bring in this card. We're just gonna close combat here. That's a close combat number 1. Since I would have actually thrown the next one, but I don't think it's a bad play because maybe he's saving it for like something to use it later in the back, because I don't know what he was seeing, right? Because usually you play based on whatever you see. And this is supposed to be a Brave, but opponent is swapping to the Typhlosion. I don't know why I was saying I don't know what's in the back. It's literally a Shadow Typhlosion that we saw, and the Dragon Claw will here comes in handy, and he does need the Dragon Claw. Opponent is expected to throw a Scorching Sand here. Now we're just gonna go Kommo-o and insta throw, I guess, or this. Basically, he lives a move here. If it's the Scorching Sand, sorry, the Dragon Claw, and this Dragon Claw is supposed to KO, and now we shall reach the close combat, which is supposed to KO the Skarmory or leave them with 1 HP. Yeah, that was just enough damage to KO, so we'll play it. So yeah, see? So this is something I always recommend. Always think about your losses. So if we see in the last game, he knew that he lost because he didn't close combat the Azu. In this game, we saw he close combated the Azu, which put him in a way better situation. So always, whenever you lose a matchup, just do like what VBasist just did. Okay, think of your losses. Your losses is the best way to learn how to play the game. How did you lose? Why did you lose? Now we have some Q time here and here. Okay, we have Azu into Flygon. This is not Shadow Flygon, so this is a much more comfortable matchup for the Azu. Usually the Shadow can KO with 2 Scorching Sands plus couple Mud Shots here and there. And now all we're gonna see that this Azu is about to get both shields down. Okay, opponent got the attack fill, but doesn't matter. I like this, throwing a play rough and then going to the Kommo-o. Maybe he's just gonna tank another one then swap, because that's actually like the perfect play, because he's gonna swap with a move and then we will have a move to hit back the what's that thing? The Flygon. We're gonna shield here. Ice Beam doesn't KO. Play Rough does KO 2 Kommo-os because it's double super effective. So you're gonna see him double shielding. He still lives in a Dragon Claw. Opponent swapping. I don't know why. Opponents literally locked in for no reason. They locked themselves just to get Dragon Claw to the face. Because if they shield this, they don't live. Then we have another one, right? They have to. Never mind. But we have an Ice Beam, right? And they just insta through. So this is where, like, it actually came in handy, right? That's why he built up for the energy in case a scenario like that happens. So now we just a blind swap, and we wish it's a Registeel in the back. So what's the play? Well, we're just gonna keep over farming, and then eventually, if we land the overheat on the Regi, I think he's waiting. He was trying to wait for the opponent to swap out, but the opponent is not swapping out. So I was like, okay, so let's just get to as many moves as possible and then just double nuke. Because to be fair, even if they caught there, he would have still won because he overfarmed. So yeah, that was a well played. That was a good game. Moving into the next one, we have VBasist now at 28 to 27, queuing in the Go Battle League, suffering from success already with these queue times. Okay, let me fast forward, and we have Joe Roy. Joe Roy is leading Azu, so it's an Azu meet. This is where we want to see the Azu. Usually, like, you try to keep your Azu alive. And now, we don't shield the Azu at all, but I think he needs to save the Azu with some health for later in the game, because Azu is kind of like a liability in this cup, because nothing walls Azu's energy, and it goes always somewhere. We throw the player off here, so I'm assuming at one point he's just going to go to Kommo-o, or he is just going to let this go. Their Azu is healthier technically. Well, I like this way more, because look at that. Opponent swapped into a Magnezone. This Magnezone is going to be cooked. Look at that. I think opponent having double steal in the back. They did one above the player off, so this is supposed to be a Hydro, as we can see. And he was aware, he shielded, and now we're just gonna Dragon Pulse the Azu. Turtonator throwing the Dragon Pulse, opponent having a double steal in the back. We can see that, we can smell that from afar. Look at that. Okay, bring your second steal, and it's Lucario. Lucario is about to get toasted, and man, look at that. Lucario shielding the first move. What about the second one? We're about to see the Lucario getting toasted. Okay, Turtonator like setting the fire on Lucario. Look at that poor Lucario. We can't see him. Literally in flames. Wow. Well played. We didn't even reveal the lead. Now someone like, yes, we revealed the lead. It was supposed to be a joke. Okay, moving into the next one. Q times are killing the fun here. And we're playing Finny Bok. And we see an Escav lead. Escav kinda give this team some tough time. I'm assuming he's going to play it off and then dip, because the jab is just going to hurt too much. So I like this play. You could also tank a move, then swap out, to be honest. We can shield this, because if they Moon Blast, that's the only move they're getting. If they Surf, they might get to another one. Okay, they didn't get to another one. And now we're just going to, I think, close combat. Double close combat would have been an ideal situation here. And I would like to shield. Like, if they throw here, I would shield and toast him, to be honest. Because they will shield back, right? And now, we're gonna go Turtonator and toast this Escav until this Escav realize what's hitting him. I think he maybe needed to overheat and then dip, but there is no wrong play, because his Azu has technically some energy lead, but I think the ideal play would have been like overheat then dip, because the overheat does resisted overheat does more than clear off neutral from the Azu. So technically it's a move by a move. And now we're about to see this Azu's getting to another move. I think he's trying to throw right before they get to the move. So usually, like, whenever you play the Azu mid, try to always throw right before they get to the move. Opponent switch locked themselves, and they will get to a drill run. But if that Azu doesn't have a Hydro Pump, I think VBasist is supposed to win this matchup here. I would have just a Dragon Pulse here, but it doesn't matter, as the second move will KO. It all depends. Do they have it? They don't have it, and the overheat is coming here, and this is about to KO and set everything on fire. This Turtonator is literally burning everything down. Well played. Okay, moving into the next one. We have some Q time. No, we don't have a Q time. Battle is about to start. Tubasaxi. We see a Shadow Flygon. Shadow Flygon is actually tough for the team to beat, but look at the bubble damage. This is where, like, actually the bubble damage, the bubble buff helped Azu to do something. It doesn't matter anymore because they got the debuff. And if it's an Azu, I think we tank a move, then swap. Also, you could say we get to a move, then swap. Opponent is refusing to throw, which putting us in like in an awkward situation because we want them to throw. I think, yeah. He's about to swap, which he did. So we're just gonna double shield, I think, at this point and farm all the way down. This is not like the ideal play you want to do, but when you're playing ABB teams like double dragons, you pretty much have sometimes no play if you queue into a core breaker, and Azu is the biggest core breaker to this team. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? The Flygon comes back, and good thing that we were like only 3 mud shots away, 3 poison jabs away, so we were able to get it right before they do. Dragon Claw doesn't KO if it's non-shadow, but since they are shadow, it was actually just right about enough to KO. Opponent here is swapping G-Weezing. G-Weezing cannot KO the Turtonator, which, because everything they do is actually neutral or resisted, and if it's a neutral, that means it's non-stat, because they don't run play rough on that Pokemon. Look at that, Turtonator just KOing everything. This is, I think they have 6 mud shots, which means we can shield and throw. Yeah, they don't have it. And this Dragon Pulse can KO 2 Flygons in a row, and that was a good game. Was this the last battle? Yeah, there is 2 more. Good. So we can see more of these poison jabbing Azu all the way down. I want to see the Tapu Fini. We saw one, but it was a chipped, because Azu like has so much HP. With playing 7 Ws, they are leading Magnezone. So I think we're just gonna pivot out at one point. I think he tapped the move and he tapped the swap, but the game chose the swap instead. So what's the play here? Well, he's gonna shield here, I'm assuming, and just like couple poison jabs, and they will be in close combat range. I think double close combat range. So close combat number 1, 4 jabs, and I think this should be enough to do it. Let's see. Yeah, that was enough. Now the opponent will be forced to bring in the Magnezone, so we're gonna see that he's throwing for the he's going for the Dragon Claw. This might not be the most ideal play, but if the opponent is not counting, it doesn't matter, right? And opponent saw that opponent wasn't counting, and the Turtonator is about to sweep everything again. Yeah, see, VBasist didn't overheat, and he knew he should overheat next time, and that's where it, like, where you see the improvement. Like you saw the game before, he didn't overheat. He still won though, but that wasn't an ideal play, right? And that was a good play. So now his ass is going to overfarm a bit, and I like the under the charge if it doesn't KO. And here they brought the Magnezone. And remember, nothing this Magnezone can do to one-shot the Turtonator, because they should have Wild Charge, and now they are in 1 Incinerate range. Look at that. The Incinerate is about to toast that flying Magnezone. Okay, that was a good game. Now moving into the last one. Unlosable. With the unlosable team. With these good plays, good judgment by VBasist 60. Is he going to take game number 10? And we see an Azu lead, opponent swap. Okay, Azu lead into a Turtonator, opponent swapped out to their own Azu. Usually whenever people do that instantly, that means they would rather swap out. I'm assuming there is some Tapu Fini or like some grass Pokemon in the back, because whenever people do that, it's like they don't care that much about it. Usually when you are ABA weak to Azu, as an example, they would rather overheat than dip, right? Opponent instant throwing. I think we're just gonna stay in and keep throwing these play roughs, or we're just gonna swap out, shield this, and then just nuke everything. He threw on 4, which is good timing. Ideally, you want to do 2 or 4 out of 7, but 4 is also great timing. So you're going to do 2, then throw. They shielded the first one. How about the second one? I'm sure close combat does more, but it's not about which one does more. It's about, let's just get rid of this. I like this shield because Turtonator is just so slow to get to a charge move, so you can comfortably shield, because that means whenever you see them throwing the one, I think he's going for the catch. Amazing catch. Look at that. Nice plays here by VBasist. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think it was... Yeah, see? There is the another Azu answer. So this is what I said. This is how you know that they have 2 answers or they only have 1 answer. If you remember, let's go back to the lead. So this is what we call the team reading skills. So you see this lead. Opponent insta-swapped means they have 2 stuff that deal with Azu better than Turtonator. If they only had 1 Pokemon, they would have chipped and then swapped. See, that means when them swapping out means they have 2 Pokemons that can deal with Azu. The first one was their own Azu. That means the second one is a hard answer, and it was a grass Pokemon, as you guys can see here. So yeah, ideally, I mean, Aizu has Ice Beam to hit the grass back, but a grass is still like a water answer, right? We're gonna see this Turtonator incinerating down the Whimsicott, and that was a good play. So yeah, that was the last battle. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and thank you so much VBasist for sending me these battles. This is the end of the video. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Peace. And yeah, special shout out to VBasist60 for sending me these battles. If you would like your battles to be showcased on this channel, there will be a link down below. You just submit your battles and shoot me a DM on Discord, or just tag me in my own Discord, which I'll be leaving also in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.